Less than 2 weeks from now at Dodger Stadium, this man will throw the first pitch of the 2018 season. But until then, a couple of more spring training tune-ups for Clayton Kershaw. This one today against the San Diego Padres. We're glad you're here with us. Joe Davis, Nomar Garciaparra, and Alana Rizzo joins us in a moment. And it doesn't matter if it's March like it is now or opening day in a couple of weeks or the postseason. It's always a good time to watch Clayton Kershaw take it.
Yeah, the fans coming into today's games were really excited. They were mentioning, hey, it's Kershaw Day. What's not to be excited about? At the same time, going out there trying to get some work in. Dave Roberts touched on it. Looking to see about 75 pitches, maybe 5 innings out of Clayton Kershaw. We'll see how it goes. But I think it's an interesting matchup if there is one in spring training, because Kershaw obviously getting ready for opening day. But on the flip side, Tyson Ross was the opening day starter for the Padres in 2016, finds himself back with the Padres and trying to make the rotation.
After spending last season with the Texas Rangers, this is the final division matchup of spring training for the Dodgers against the Padres on another beautiful day in Arizona. We've got the first pitch after this.
At the Lexus Command Performance Sales Event.
World, and we're all just living in it. 105 first pitch comes at about 102. 1 ball and 1 strike on Manny Margot, getting this one going. That is softly rolled to second. Logan Forsythe is there, and there is one gone. Here in the first inning, with Clayton Kershaw making his 5th start of the spring, and he's not given a run up over his first 9 2/3.
I think Clayton Kershaw is just trying to help out the pace of play rules that they're trying to institute this year.
I was wondering why he yelled, "This one's for you, Rob," as he threw the first pitch.
Exactly.
Yeah. Here's the big signing this offseason for the Padres, Eric Hosmer. Kershaw's first pitch to him misses inside. And, a little bit of gamesmanship from the Dodgers waiting until they did, perhaps, to announce where Clayton Kershaw was pitching. But then Padres a little bit of gamesmanship of their own, sending a stacked lineup on the road, which you don't often see.
Well, I'm sure when they found out that Clayton Kershaw, I bet you it was one where they might have had 2 lineups, and probably Andy Green is communicating with the guys saying, listen, if they do announce that Kershaw is pitching, on the main field? Would you guys like to go out there so have a chance to just maybe see some pitches? Or if not, then maybe only half the lineup goes and the rest can get a workout.
A 1-2. Hosmer hits it off of the mound is short. That's Corey Seager's playing for the second time this spring. And a pair of ground ball outs to open the afternoon for Kershaw. And here's the rest of the lineup for San Diego. After Margot and Hosmer, it's Will Myers hitting third. Then Jose Perella out of the cleanup spot, starting at second base today. He'll be an outfielder for the majority of the time this year. Hunter Renfroe's in right. Chase Headley back in a Padres uniform. Freddie Galvis over from the Phillies. Then Austin Hedges and Tyson Ross will hit for himself today. Strike one. Rarely do you see a lineup that looks this good, though, on the road. And by good, I mean relative to that team's normal lineup. First curve from Kershaw. It's 1-1.
I also wonder if it helps that it is just down the road.
It's true. Bouncing ball to second. Logan Forsythe can't quite scoop it up. And Myers aboard to keep this inning alive. He's positioned up the middle, had a long way to go. It's ruled a base hit with 2 out for Myers.
Great jump by Logan Forsythe. When he gets there, when he got a glove on it, and as he was getting there, I was thinking he has a chance here. Watch this pirouette and throw and see if it was going to be on target, but couldn't hold on to it.
Keeps things alive for Jose Perella. Kershaw comes home and Perella takes ball 1 low. That was one of the impressive things from Logan Forsythe last year. And I know that especially stood out to you as a former major league infielder. The way that his season-long slump never carried over into the other parts of his game.
He was dealing with injuries, and he admitted it this year. But that was what he was dealing with silently. I mean, we knew that he had injuries, but how much they were affecting him, he never talked about it or gave any indication to it. But despite that, and it's a struggle when it's really affecting you at home plate.
Chopper to third. Seager has it and then loses his footing. And it's another infield single.
First and foremost, you want to make sure Seager's okay. Getting to that ball, and I don't know, even when he got it, I don't know where his play might have been. He obviously was going to probably throw across the diamond to first base, but that would have been tough. But we're getting back to Logan Forsythe. What just was impressive to me is finding out, okay, you're dealing with those struggles. You struggled at the plate, knew that, but that you didn't carry it into your defense. You never would have known it the way he played defense all year long. Just solid.
Hunter Renfroe with 2 on and 2 out. And for a couple of infield singles, Kershaw trying to pitch out of this first inning jam and delivers strike 1. You know, by some measures, and take your pick what the most accurate is for defense at this point, but by some statistical measures, Forsythe was the single best defensive second baseman in the National League last year.
And it's a battle, like I was telling you, when you know you're off and you know you can add something to the offense and you just don't feel right all year long. But telling yourself, I can still help this team on the defensive side.
Renfroe pops it up. Kershaw can't find it. Hernandez hopefully can and does to bring this top of the first inning to a close. A couple of ground ball outs, then a couple of infield singles before Kershaw gets out of the inning unscathed.
who has yet to give up an earned run so far in spring training. This is his second to last tune-up. He'll probably have an abbreviated start on Saturday the 24th before it counts on opening day the 29th back at Dodger Stadium. Dave Roberts announcing earlier today the opening rotation has essentially been set with, of course, Clayton Kershaw getting the opening day start, followed by Alex Wood, then Kenta Maeda, the only right-hander in the Dodgers rotation, followed then by Rich Hill and Hyunjin Ryu, guys.
All right, Alana, and that's not necessarily a strict merit-based thing where the one is your top guy. In fact, obviously he is, and your fifth is your fifth best guy. Part of that is what Alana mentioned, trying to break up the lefties, putting Maeda there between Alex Wood and Rich Hill in Game 3. On the mound for the Padres in this one, Tyson Ross, and facing off with Chris Taylor. Last time Ross had a Padres uniform on in a regular season game, opening day, like you mentioned during the open, Nomar, 2 years ago against the Dodgers and against Clayton Kershaw. Got lit up in that game. Didn't pitch again that year with thoracic outlet syndrome. Had surgery to repair that. Went to the Rangers. Had a tough year there last year, but is back in San Diego on a minor league deal and has a pretty good chance, it sounds like, to make the rotation. 2-2.
Coming out of Padres camp, they're talking about there's really 2 spots open in that starting rotation. Three pretty much set, but they have quite a few guys. I mean, it's like 3 to 4 guys still battling for those 2 spots, and Tyson Ross being one of them.
They say what he does today is going to go a long way in deciding whether or not he lands one of those final 2 rotation spots. 31 years old, originally from Oakland, California. He's one of 2 Ross brothers pitching in the majors. His brother Joe, the Washington Nationals. Broxton deals 2-2 by the hands to run it full. Good take from Taylor and a nice walk to open the afternoon. It brings up Corey Seager. We mentioned during the top of the inning playing shortstop for only the 2nd time in a Cactus League game this year. He's DH some, but it's part of that planned program to get his elbow ready. They've limited his exposure in the field. Takes ball 1.
And that's one thing I'm not really worried about Corey Seager when it comes to the defense, because it was his arm that he was just kind of making sure was healthy, and it wasn't his legs. So you can get a lot of work done even in the backfields, even prior to him actually getting into one of these spring training games, even working on your timing to some degree. Really just then, once you're there, his arm was, I don't want to say healthy enough, because it's been healthy. It's just a matter of making sure they knew they were kind of babying it to make sure it's not going to become an issue. Once he started throwing across the diamond, it wasn't going to take him very long to get back out there.
And he's got a track record in place of being able to not be full go during spring training and then produce right out of the gate. 2016 missed pretty much all spring training with a knee sprain. Last year missed time with a bruised shin. He had that back and oblique tightness that he dealt with. Didn't play a ton. And has always gotten off to pretty decent starts regardless.
You can talk to a lot of big leaguers. They'll tell you from a position player standpoint, if you had a good offseason that you can work out, and you did, you were focused on that you probably need about 2 weeks really of spring training and then just go, as far as games are concerned.
On a 2-1. Seager with a check swing foul, 2-2. Is there a difference between the games on these fields and the games on the backfields as far as your preparation goes?
There is. Sometimes on the backfield, I mean, we always say at the highest, biggest big league level, it's the speed. There is just a different speed when you have coming off some of these big leaguer bats and compared to the backfield where it's not always just a big leaguer hitting back there.
A little bit low, full count.
But the one luxury you have in the backfield is being able to maybe work on something after, as the game's going on. You can say, okay, I want to just stay out here for a little while longer. Or you can also have, you don't have to throw across the diamond. You can have a bucket there. If the ball is hit to you, just throw it in the bucket and say, okay, you would have been out. You can do that.
Taylor takes off. Seager with a cue shot. They'll stay out of the double play. Galvis throws him out. Taylor saved at second, one gone. Let's take a look at the Dodger lineup today. Pretty representative of the regular season lineup. Cody Bellinger, though, hits third. We'll tell you why there's no Justin Turner in that spot. Yasiel Puig batting cleanup, then Logan Forsythe. In left field, Kike Hernandez. Austin Barnes catches. Kyle Farmer starts in Turner's place at the hot corner in front of Kershaw. So Turner is in Los Angeles today. He's the honorary race starter of the LA Marathon. His foundation has raised a lot of money as an official charity of the marathon for underprivileged families. And Dave Roberts and the Dodgers happy to let him go be a part of that today. 1 ball, no strikes on Bellinger.
Dave Roberts was also talking about that before the game. He says, I usually give guys maybe a few days off here and there, just kind of take personal days because, you know, spring training can be kind of long and tedious. And yet he said he chose his off day to go out there to Los Angeles and do some good for the community.
Yeah, that's something. I mean, you're right. You only get 1 or 2 off days. And it's not like once spring training finishes, you get a break. No, spring training finishes, and then the real grind begins. Turner decided to go do something related to his charity. Travel and do something related to his charity with his precious time off. Taylor at second with 1 out, and a scoreless first inning. And Tyson Ross to Cody Bellinger with a 1-1. It's smacked foul. The 1-2 now. Bellinger drags a bouncing ball to first, and Hosmer takes it to the bag for the second out. Here comes Puig. Consistent looking approach from Puig this spring, a lot like we saw last season. And decent numbers, hitting .281. Yet to go deep this spring, but the staff has continued to be pleased with the work that he's put in. Goes after a first pitch slider, comes up empty. What a breakout season it was for him last year in the consistency department and in the trust department with his hitting coach Turner Ward. The two kind of went hand in hand.
And that's why they're really not too worried about him.
Jams one by the mound is second. That's where Jose Pereira waits, and the Dodgers unable to take advantage of a leadoff walk. Off and rolling here in Glendale. Clayton Kershaw back at it after this. unseasonably cool here in Arizona pretty much all spring. Still stay hydrated, though. Good idea. Pace yourself now. Dodgers and Padres scoreless as we go to the second. Gorgeous day. It's been a little bit cooler. I think most of the guys are perfectly okay with that. Kershaw to face Chase Headley, Freddie Galvis, and Austin Hedges here in the second. Headley very much familiar with Kershaw from his earlier days in San Diego. He's been away in New York for a couple of years, but they traded back for him. Wanted a veteran presence as they continue this rebuild. And he figures to be the starting third baseman. Back to the future. The 1-1. Slider, pinpoint, strike two. And it's that pitch that Dave Roberts pointed to in Kershaw's last outing as finally being Kershaw-esque.
Man of the fastball. He also liked the way he also mentioned in his scrum. Sorry, I'm chuckling as that loud scream was Kershaw, who is never satisfied. But he was talking about also how he was breaking ball too. He was right where he likes to see Kershaw right now.
A little jam shot along the right field line that'll sink in for Headley. That's the third hit. 2 infield singles, and now that. Leadoff man on in the second.
So you got an infield single, jam shot. And you're going, wow, he's giving up 3 hits. Is he okay? Like, oh, he looks great.
So the box score doesn't always tell the story, especially not in a spring game. Here's Freddie Galvis. To the back door, strike one. And, you know, you hear Kershaw yelling at himself on missing that pitch a couple of pitches ago, and we all hold him to such a high standard, but it's the same standard that he holds himself to. So it's amazing. You're talking about 9 2/3 innings without giving up a run coming into this outing, and Dave Roberts and Clayton Kershaw agreeing he's just now starting to get there where he wants to be, but unscored upon. Home 0-2. Galvis with a big bouncer foul.
What's really interesting about that screen is, and we're able to see it, I don't know if it was able to be translated at home, he was screaming before that ball even crossed home plate. So it wasn't like he was waiting for the call, or I missed it, or when it crossed home plate, oh, it was ball. Like, this was something that he was already feeling when he released it, that he knew he was off. So it was already coming out.
It's a great point. I think that's a common thing with the elite of the elite, the ability to feel something while it's happening.
Yes, because that's what allows them to make an adjustment so quickly. And it goes from pitchers, and also hitters do the same thing. Great, the elite hitters can make the adjustment from pitch to pitch. Same thing with a pitcher, recognizing why they missed their spot, and then to be able to come right back and execute the pitch. Knowing why they didn't execute it, upset with themselves, and then very next one, execute it perfectly.
Because you may be sitting at home saying, well, of course you feel it as it happens, dummy. We all do, but to be able to learn from what you're feeling. Not everybody can do that without going back to the video room and grinding over that. He strikes out Galvis. First K of the day, first out of the second.
So the fastballs we were all talking about, and then we go with the breaking ball that looks like a fastball, staying on the trajectory, the late break.
Here's the Padres' talented young catcher, Austin Hedges. Didn't miss by much, 1-0. 4 homers this spring for Hedges. Close to 20 of them a year ago. The Dodgers had his number. Really bad numbers against LA all season. Those 19 games. Ball on a strike. Dodgers dominated overall, 13-6 against San Diego. 7th year in a row that they've won the season series. 2-1.
Made 2 really good pitches prior to that. Fastball, and then he comes with a breaking ball. And then this one, see the reactions going. He felt himself kind of falling off, where he just kind of yanked that pitch to the glove side.
Spots that one. 2-2. Been more sliders and curves than there have been fastballs so far. Here he comes with the 2-2 instead of toss over. Now the 2-2. Big curveball gets Hedges. Got Galvis with a slider, gets Hedges with a curve, and 2 away in the second.
This is what Dave Roberts was talking about before the game. He goes, his breaking pitches, like the last outing, like the spin that was coming out, and that one was a nice sharp break.
Now Tyson Ross by the house, standing by the side of the road. Don't imagine he'll be much other than that in this situation. Wow, heck.
And this is where you can, it's getting closer to opening day in spring training, later in spring training, when you're seeing the pitchers starting to hit in these spring training games. So you got Tyson Ross, and Clayton Kershaw is also going to hit for himself.
Oh, 2. Fastball to the outside corner, strike 3. He strikes out 3 in a row to finish the second. To the bottom half we go.
Backstage Dodgers go all access with Andrew Tolles as he works his way back from his injury. Plus some new additions to the bullpen as they look to make an impact during spring training. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers presented by Cadillac, Thursday after the postgame on Sportsnet LA.
I thought Justin Turner went to LA. Did you see that guy on the hill with a beard? Yeah, that was a red beard that had been growing long time. Look at that thing.
Justin Turner fan.
Logan Forsythe to lead off this second for the Dodgers against Tyson Ross in a scoreless game. There's still some time on the stadium between innings clock, with the first base umpire Alan Porter saying, let's go, let's play. Trip Gibson was waiting, the home plate umpire. Until Alan Porter said, let's go ahead and play, and why not? Strike one on Forsythe.
Well, they knew they had a couple extra minutes to play with because of Clayton Kershaw starting so early today.
Right, so they're just going to take their time. Ross with an 0-2, and Forsythe looking at ball one. Logan Forsythe expecting big things out of himself this year. The Dodgers would be right there with him. A guy that hit 37 home runs in 2015 and 16 combined, limited to just 6 last year as he dealt with those injuries you're talking about. And for a hitter, and for any athlete really, so tough when it begins on the ground up. He injured his foot and then hurt his hamstring. On a 2-2, he takes ball 3.
Power comes from the legs. Pitchers will say that. Hitters will say that. And that's also another thing that's impressed me about the defense they were talking about earlier. Because you always say you field the ball with your legs. Your legs are so important to get yourself in the proper position, and it seemed like it was always that way for him defensively.
That one falls in there for strike 3. What was that, Logan says.
Well, you put that in your memory bank. And a curveball that freezes you. Just falls right in there.
First K of the day for Ross, and here's Kike Hernandez. Over the outside corner for a strike. We were talking yesterday, Nomar, about Kike going public saying, look, I want to be an everyday player. I don't want to be a platoon guy that just faces left-handed pitching. And you pointed out that you liked that. And in talking with Dave Roberts, he likes that too. And he says Kike's backed up that talk with the way he's performed this spring.
You want everybody to feel like they are an everyday player and to go out there, get their body ready for that.
Drills one to the opposite field. It sends Renfroe back with room in front of the track. Sounded good, but dies in right. 2 out.
But Kike, he prepared his body for that race. That was the other part of that interview when they were asking him about that. He says, I prepared myself to play 162 games. He wants to look at himself that way. But at the same time, it wasn't, he'll do whatever's asked as well. And Dave Robert understands that. He even mentioned when we were talking to him about it, he's like, he works so hard. And that says a lot about him, even despite understanding what his role, like last year, his role was going to be. He said he was one of the hardest workers out there every day, working on every position, knowing that I may call upon him to play every position out there. And also working on the offensive side, both sides.
Other than 2 on Austin Barnes. Tyson Ross looking for a 1-2-3 second. Barnes swats a liner to right. Renfroe with a running catch. And Ross has that 1-2-3 inning. To the 3rd we go. No score in Glendale. Happy early birthday to Clayton Kershaw. He'll turn 30 tomorrow. Joe Davis, Nomar Garciaparra, and Alana Rizzo back at Camelback Ranch. And the Dodgers and Padres are scoreless after 2 innings. Clayton Kershaw has given up 3 softly hit singles. A couple of infield singles and a bloop shot down the line, and finished off the second in impressive fashion. Granted, the bottom of the order, but he went strikeout and a slider against an everyday big leaguer, strikeout and a curve against an everyday big leaguer, and finished off the pitcher Ross with a fastball.
Listen, he's looked very sharp despite yelling a couple of times, not liking a couple of the pitches.
Second time through, Manuel Margot goes after the first pitch, 0-1.
But just in the first couple of innings, they haven't really hit the ball hard off of him at all.
Coming off a 5th ERA title. It's a Cy Young runner-up, 7th consecutive year that he finished in the top 5. A pop-up in short center field. Logan Forsythe has it marked. And Margot is the first out of the inning. There's a good trivia question for you. So 7 straight years finishing in the top 5 in Cy Young voting. That's tied for the longest streak ever. Who's he tied with?
Maddox, maybe?
Nailed it without hesitation. Oh boy, Nomar. Hosmer slashes a base hit to left center. First hard hit ball of the day comes from the newest San Diego Padre, and it's a 1-out single.
And just a little bit up in the zone. Hosmer did a good job just going the other way with it, not trying to pull that ball.
What do you think of the Hosmer deal? 8 years, $144 million. A lot of money in this current climate. First one from Kershaw to Myers is in the dirt.
He was one of those. He went down to the end where he was one of those free agents that were not signed, and finally the argument was free agents not getting offered or not getting offered what they wanted. And I think a lot of them, I mean, a lot of teams now are not looking to get these really long deals. They're willing to pay maybe per year. At least that's what it seems like, but it's not the as long as these players would like. Because I think they're seeing how some of the teams are faring when these players get older and later in their career. So they're trying to prepare for that, and they're kind of getting handcuffed from some of these contracts.
Minimizing risk.
Yeah.
A 2-0 and a strike. And we're seeing so many elite young players. I mean, early 20s, controllable players. And the data is starting to show that those are the prime years. Prime years typically happen before free agency for a lot of guys. And so why pay way over what is becoming market value? Well, it's just kind of been the arguments from a lot of the front offices. Whether that's right or wrong, I guess time's going to tell. The game typically evolves and changes, and we'll see. It was certainly an interesting offseason, and Eric Hosmer, one of the only guys that did cash in with a deal we've gotten used to in recent years.
And I think when you look at his track record, and played 162 games last year, and we talked about this Padres team, how they have so many young and up-and-coming players. To have a veteran presence like that is huge, and obviously they're committing to him for that long to be kind of that veteran presence. And also the guy at the plate with Myers as well, they feel like he's going to be that as well. They have one of the top minor league prospects teams as far as overall teams in baseball right now.
Kershaw sits Myers down for out number 2. So it wasn't just Hosmer. They went out and got Chase Headley from the Yankees, like we talked about. Brian Mitchell was a reliever for the Yankees, but will be in the rotation for the Padres. The Galvis move is a good one. He's been an underrated player in recent years and plugs into a spot where they've had issues for about a decade, really since Khalil Green at short. There's Jose Perella working at a nice curve, strike one.
And Dodger fans were, let's say, happy to see that bottom part where it says signed A.J. Ellis.
Yeah. He's here today.
Yep.
It figures to be the backup catcher to Austin Hedges for San Diego. Chopper to third. Kike Hernandez. A long throw, but a good arm. And another good inning for Clayton Kershaw. To the bottom of the third we go. No score.
From spring training is always live with MLB At Bat. The app will keep you connected every day with live radio calls, video highlights, stats, breaking news, and more. Download MLB At Bat now. It's your #1 Dodger app.
Kyle Farmer leads off this third inning against Tyson Ross and takes ball one. How about the spring Kyle Farmer's having? Look at those numbers. Still, though, one of those things where he may be putting up those numbers, hitting bombs like this on Wednesday. And as a product of the depth on the roster, may find himself in Oklahoma City to start the year. On a 2-0 pitch, he looks at strike one.
He may find himself down there in Oklahoma City, but it doesn't mean he's going to be maybe there long. You know, Dave Roberts is always talking about it's not just 25 guys. The Dodgers have shown that over the last few years. They're not afraid to call people up and down in the minor leagues. And what Kyle Farmer's done this spring is even raised the question, would they possibly carry 3 catchers? And the one thing about Kyle Farmer, like Austin Barnes, where Farmer's playing third base, he's showing versatility that he can do more than just catch. And we know the Dodgers and Dave Roberts love that.
Now, Kyle Farmer is a 4-year starter, was a 4-year starter at shortstop at Georgia. Wasn't a catcher until the Dodgers signed him. Smack to second, Perella. So, yeah, that versatility, like you mentioned with him and with Barnes, that makes you more liable to at least consider carrying the 3 catchers. They're not hamstrung by having them.
Middle infielders. You got Farmer, who's a shortstop, Barnes with a second baseman.
Yeah, Grandal can play first.
Right.
Here's Kershaw. While Clayton was on deck just a moment ago, the section of fans up against the on-deck circle serenaded him with a happy birthday. I wish I had seen, I didn't look down in time to see his reaction. I don't think it probably drew much. Clayton gets in game mode. Too many things going to shake him out of it. It's a story from earlier in Clayton's career. I think his legendary intensity he has on start days. In the dugout, the Dodgers started a pool, and the first one to bother him between innings with an off-the-wall question would win the pot. Downswinging here, 2 out in the 3rd inning. Josh Lindblom, who's bounced around since but was a Dodger reliever at the time, decided that he'd be the guy. And the question that he was going to go ask Clayton Kershaw between innings while Kershaw was pitching, hey Clayton, was the end of Inception, was that real or was that a dream? He chickened out. He didn't do it. And Clayton Kershaw said afterwards, it's a good thing you didn't. I would have strangled you. But Lindblom was going to win that pool, and I think he had come up with a really good question to win it with. Here's Chris Taylor. Can't lay off. Strike one. You know, you got the top spinning and then the top falls. The final shot of Inception. Have you seen it?
I have not seen it.
Oh, it's
Sorry.
a good movie. Go see that.
Well, when you see all the other ones we always mention, you know, Fletch. And
oh. Well, you go in one room and watch Inception. I'll go in another and watch Fletch, and we'll get together afterwards and share notes. Yeah, same genre, those two.
right.
0-2. Strike 3. Ross looking good in his bid for a roster spot. Both pitchers looking good as we go to the middle innings. LA is brought to you by Carl's Jr. and by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers or visit SoCalBMW.com. No score to the top of the 4th. Clayton Kershaw and Tyson Ross, good old spring training pitchers duel going here. You mentioned it off of the top, Nomar. If there's such a thing as an interesting pitching matchup in spring, this is it.
Yes, Kershaw. We all know the intensity he goes out. Doesn't matter if it's spring training or not, but looks like it's probably going to be his second to the last tune-up before the opening day. And then Tyson Ross trying to make that rotation for the Padres. Not many starts left for him to try to leave that impression. So he's going out there and looking really good.
Kershaw has 4 strikeouts himself. And facing Hunter Renfroe, yanks a fly ball down the line to left and foul. Renfroe trying to make the roster himself, which is a much different story than he went into last year with, when a lot of people were looking at him as a potential Rookie of the Year candidate. But he's just not been able to cut down on the strikeouts. And so he's now fighting for a 4th or 5th outfield spot. And some of the thought is that they need to carry 5 outfielders in order for him to make the team. Strike three. Kershaw bullseye to the knees on the outside edge.
Throws a fastball up, doesn't get the call. It was borderline. It was a close pitch, and then to come down at the knees and bury that pitch. So you have a look at our Carl's Cam replay there.
Perfect. Ball one on Chase Headley. Strike one on Chase Headley. A rare veteran on this roster. You touched on it last inning, Nomar, but San Diego's built one of the top farm systems in baseball. A pop fly into right center field where Yasiel Puig is camped under it. 2 up and 2 down. A lot of those prospects, though, and there are a lot of young players on the big league roster, but when you're talking about the guys that are making the system so highly touted, a lot of those guys are still a step or two away. 6 of the top 7, 20 years old or younger. 4 of the top 7 still teenagers. So they had to find a few veterans like Headley, like this man, Freddie Galvis, as somewhat stopgaps.
And 8 of their top 10 prospects are pitchers. They got a lot of young live arms. They do have a couple of position players that they're really high on.
Fernando Tatis Jr. is a 19-year-old shortstop. And Luis Urias, 20-year-old second baseman, who's set to start the season in AAA. Tatis, I think, is going to start in AA. A 2-1. Defensive swing and a foul ball. 2-2. Got Galvis with a slider his first time up on this 2-2. Goes to it again and gets him again. And Clayton Kershaw with 6 Ks over 4 scoreless innings. That's now 13 2/3 this spring without a blemish. Out of here. No score to the bottom of the 4th. Wants to get closer to the action as Corey Seager leads off. Yeah, takes ball 1 from Tyson Ross. And it's been quite a pitcher's duel so far. Coffee, we can bring the coffee. Thanks, Lori. Clayton Kershaw, 6 strikeouts over the first 4 innings.
Looks pretty sharp, really sharp. spotting the fastball. Good break on the breaking ball. It's been a pitcher's duel. We talked about that too. Tyson Ross has looked really good as well for the Padres, but Clayton Kershaw looks vintage. Clayton Kershaw looks like he's going to be ready.
A ball on Seager, 2-1. What are the chances that coffee's being brought in the 20 seconds that we go on camera?
It's perfect timing. Because you need
Florida's famous now.
You need your coffee.
Yeah, don't we all? 3-1. Usually it's Nomar getting stuff delivered to him. Tea in the second. Coffee in the third. French fries in the fourth.
Now you're just making up things. I don't drink
the
coffee.
The coffee part was making up.
I don't drink coffee. Tea and fries. Okay, I can't argue.
Salad in the fifth.
Play for the tie.
That's it. Seager grounded to short his first time. And on this 3-2 pitch, turns his shoulder on ball 4. Second leadoff walk that the Dodgers have gotten against Ross. In fact, it's their first base runner since Taylor started the game with one. And here's Cody Bellinger. It's not been a great spring for Bellinger. Gets ready for his second major league season. Cuts and misses at the first one from Ross. One of the big questions that'll follow the Dodgers when they're looked at from a national perspective is, can Cody Bellinger and can Chris Taylor repeat the huge seasons that they had for the first time? Obviously for Bellinger, it came as a rookie. Taylor, it came in his 4th season with major league time. Can they sustain it? A pop fly in the infield, pointed out by Ross. Galvis is ready for it. And Bellinger's the first out.
When you're talking about Bellinger and Chris Taylor, I think Chris Taylor, is going to be fine. And the reason I say that, we saw Chris Taylor majority of the season. Obviously, I think for Dodger fans to remember that he didn't start the season in the big leagues last year.
Right.
But he was up for a lot of the season, where Cody came up later.
Here's Puig with one out.
So I think with Chris Taylor, seeing him throughout the entire season, so where he's had to make adjustments, the teams adjusting him and still being successful, where Cody obviously came on the scene, they were adjusting. We saw what happened in the postseason as well. So it's just a matter of him being able to make the adjustments.
Puig taps it back to the mound. Ross with a glance at second. Takes the sure thing at first, 2 out. No score in the 4th. Logan Forsythe struck out on really slow, almost eephus looking pitch from Tyson Ross's first time up there. No hits against Tyson Ross in his bid to make the Padres rotation. There were a few years where Tyson Ross was one of the top dozen or so pitchers in the National League from 2013 through 15. He was a full-time starter. ERA was right around 3. Had a sub-3 season when he was an all-star. But then the injuries. He's trying to find himself again, trying to reestablish himself again. 2-0.
I was reading some of the quotes, some of his interviews, talking about how this year would different is to have an off season where you're healthy, so you can get an off season where all you have to worry about is just training and getting ready for a season.
He had that thoracic outlet syndrome, which Requires removal of a rib. Takes the corner 2-1. And missed all but that opening day start in 2016. There's a lot of hype surrounding him going into that year. It wasn't a thing like it is this year with San Diego where it just kind of falls to Clayton Richard for the opening day start because the rotation's not great. No, Tyson Ross was the guy. 2-2.
I'll tell you right now, I know it's spring training, but he is looking like
The guy.
that guy.
Yeah. Dodgers trying to cash in on the leadoff walk from Seager. He's got a good lead at second with 2 out. And Ross comes ready for a 2-2 to Logan Forsythe. Driven to center field, but right at Margot, and that does it in the 4th. On to the 5th we move. No score. Kershaw and Ross back and forth. Get it here or get it to go. In here, it's always Friday. Pitcher's duel between Clayton Kershaw and Tyson Ross, who's not given up a hit through 4 innings, and they're cheering Clayton, who's fan 6 over 4. The plan today, Nomar, was 5 innings or 75 pitches. Here comes the 5th inning with the pitch count very much in control. Hedges, Ross, and Margot due up. '57th pitch of the day is strike 1 of the 5th. Austin Hedges hoping to get off to a different start than he did last year. 0 for his first 24. And we were talking about Clayton Kershaw being a guy who can feel it while it's happening. There was something that the staff picked up on video that helped lead Hedges to break out of that early season slump. Takes it out foul, and it's 1-2. And they noticed that his hands were moving a split second later than usual than it had been when he was hitting well during spring training. Put the whole swing out of sync, was rushing to try and catch back up, but didn't really realize this was why he fell off. Once it was pointed out, he said, well, it's an easy fix. And he hit 6 home runs in the next 9 games. He looks at strike 3 from Kershaw, number 7 of the day for Clayton.
That's a nice catch by the staff, and also an easy fix. Is what's not easy is try to hit Clayton Kershaw today. But that's what we're talking about. Sometimes you don't feel what is happening out there. And that's what gets very frustrating as a player. Even when you're The worst is when you tell yourself, okay, don't do something, or I'm going to really focus on, whether get my hands on top, fire this top hand, making sure my bat doesn't lag. And then you go through an at-bat and you're like, oh, I didn't do that. And you just go check it out in video and you're like, oh, yeah, I did. But I didn't. How did I not feel that?
Is that something you lose with age? Or
it definitely happens. It can happen with age. It can just happen at a moment. And then that's why you battle so much. That's why you also hear people talk about a routine when they're going and they're working in the cage, because there can be a day, gosh, I just don't feel it. I didn't feel, and then you have a routine that gets you back to getting that feeling.
back-to-back curves after Ross hit a hard ground ball foul. 2-2. It's also why a lot of guys don't like to talk about what they're working on or talk about mechanics, because it flips you to the wrong side of the brain.
Exactly right. Exactly right. That's why I'll tell you, like Clayton Kershaw when he gets interviewed.
Ross drives the ball to left center field, and that's down for a hit. Cut off by Hernandez and a bounce to hold him to a single. Yeah, Kershaw pretty minimal in what he talks about.
He does. As we see the pitcher getting a base hit off Clayton Kershaw. Yeah, because a lot of times he doesn't want to think about it. Sometimes you're just not thinking about what you're doing. It's just going. And whenever you're getting interviewed, a lot of it isn't about necessarily, especially when he's out there, it's about him and what he did that day. What are you feeling? What would it feel like for you out there? What did you do? And it's very minimal because he really doesn't want to think about it. He just wants to stay focused and in his routine and keep that mindset and not have to maybe, somebody tell him, hey, how come you do this with your arm, or why is it going up, or whatever it may be. You're like, I don't want to put that even in my head if I'm never thinking about it.
I don't want to lose the field.
Right.
Margot skies it to center field where Chris Taylor is playing. 2 out. Clayton Kershaw's favorite thing to talk about is teammates. And his kids. Callie and Charlie. 2 outs for Hosmer. Hardest hit ball of the day came from Hosmer his last time up. On a single to the opposite field. Here he takes strike 1. We're talking about Kershaw's intensity on start days, and it used to be right from the moment he'd wake up on his start days. But those kids, Callie and Charlie, have mellowed him out some. Waits on a curve and sends it just foul.
I don't know if Hosmer thought that was fair. He's throwing his hands up like, are you sure?
Is he saying, call New York?
Right. It's a little bit easier to deal with when it's spring training.
Yeah,
come during the season and you're going, I'm facing Clayton Kershaw. That better be fair.
Kershaw strikes him out. Bearing the slider in at the knees. 8 strikeouts for him total over 5 scoreless innings.
Opening day is right around the corner. Secure your tickets by becoming a 2018 season ticket holder. Don't miss a minute of the action as the boys in blue look to once again dominate the NL West. Visit Dodgers.com/season tickets.
How do you feel about fouling up 3 in the closing seconds, Nomar? No score here into the bottom of the 5th. That's what Jim Boeheim just did against Michigan State.
They were talking about doing that in last night's game with Houston, right?
Maybe
Michigan.
Yeah, had they made the free throw.
Right.
Kike Hernandez to lead off the 5th against Tyson Ross. Dodgers not just looking for their first run, but looking for their first hit of the day. And strike 1. Couple walks, but nothing to show for it. Hernandez hit it hard his first time to the opposite field, but it's hauled in by Hunter Renfroe. Another opportunity for him against a tough right-handed pitcher. All 3 home runs this spring have come against righties. Backs up on him. Ball 1.
Have fun at AAA, Hedges.
Stays at a ball and 2 strikes. Hernandez in left today. Which he'll be some days during the regular season. Other days he'll be in center, in short, at third. That's where his value lies in a lot of ways. The versatility. And in this day and age, the way Dave Roberts likes to manage, having that Swiss Army knife, so to speak, that he can move around and play at so many different spots is a huge, huge piece to have. Limited to 25 spots. Little crackback flare into short center. First hit of the day for the Dodgers comes from Hernandez.
Gets that off the end of the bat. Up in the zone. Just when they say, okay, we got to take you out, you gave up a hit. That's what they're doing.
That's 64 pitches. How long could it be gone with a no-hitter intact? We'll never know. Into the bullpen they go. No score.
There's
Out, Craig Stammen in. Quick hook from Andy Green. Give him a hit. Day's over. He got the work in that he wanted to, and the San Diego bullpen, where Stammen became a nice piece last year.
I'm really curious to see if that outing right there by Tyson Ross solidified his spot in rotation, because he made an incredible argument today.
Seems like it, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Seems like it maybe didn't solidify it in the rotation, but up near the top of the rotation,
Yes.
the way he looked. Like the old Tyson Ross, the old opening day starter for San Diego. Leadoff man on the Hernandez single, and now Austin Barnes taking strike one from Stammen. So the Padres a year ago, 71 and 91. And in a lot of ways, that was beating expectations. It was a 3-win improvement on the previous year, even though they didn't have as many big-name players. And it was still 7 games better than San Francisco, with as miserable of a year as the Giants had at 64 and 98. Thing was, though, you know, Pythagorean record, where you look at run differential and see what your record should have been if everything had been even as far as luck or bad luck, or based on how many runs you scored versus how many runs allowed, what your record should have been. Okay, they were considered by far the luckiest team in baseball. Their real record, 12 games better than what their run differential said they should have been. For whatever that's worth.
Just wondering how they came up with all of that to say that rather than go, well, no, here's the record.
2-2.
Can you use that formula to get into the postseason? No. Like when you're just like a game away. Well, listen.
Right.
This.
Our Pythagorean record says
we're in.
No.
No. Okay. Just checking.
But it's a way to look at it and say they maybe played above their heads. They weren't quite as good as their record said. You know what you can expect your record to be based on the bottom line. How many runs you scored, how many runs you allowed. But not all runs are created equal, as we know. You know, it's skewed by blowout wins or losses and tight wins. A lot of times, teams with really good Pythagorean records are ones that were very good in tight games. Jam foul. I should say teams with high luck factors. So the ones whose Pythagorean record was not nearly as good as their real record. A lot of times they made that up by winning the tight ones. There's a lot of different things that can swing it. You can put however much stock into it you want. It's one of the things out there. Two and two on Barnes. Stammen out of the stretch. With a peek over the shoulder. A long pause in the pitch. Full count.
Good eye.
Padres have had 7 consecutive losing seasons. It's been 12 years since their last postseason trip when they won back-to-back division titles, 05 and 06. Only the Mariners and the Marlins have had longer droughts at this point. Mariners all the way back to 2001. That record 117 win season.
Wouldn't think that, especially after that season. Right. It was kind of like, okay, you win that many wins, and then you're gonna have a drought.
There goes Hernandez and a foul ball. Yeah, what would Mariners fans have said to you? If on the final day of the regular season in 2001, you told them, hey, I've seen into the future. 2018 is going to be here, and you still won't have gone back to the postseason.
Yeah, you wouldn't have taken that bet.
No. I mean, they had Ichiro as a rookie.
Right.
Seems like every year, though, we're talking about the Mariners saying this is the year. This is the year that they stay healthier, that they've put together the right rotation, the right pieces to get back there. Hasn't happened. Runner goes again, a swing and a miss, a throw down, and a stolen base for Kike Hernandez.
Good job by Kike, still getting a good jump. I mean, in that situation, you know, with 2 strikes, you're making sure that you get a great jump. It's peeking in.
So the Dodgers, for the 3rd time today, with a man in scoring position. Still no score. Last of the 5th. Kyle Farmer takes ball 1. One and one. Padres coming up on their 50th season. Padres baseball, established in '69. Couple of pennants. Strike 1 and 2. 49-year history, though. Only 5 postseason trips. And again, the last one was '06. I think they've got a bunch of them lined up on the horizon if things are to go how they've planned it out to be. Hernandez at second with 1 out. Here comes Stammen with a 1-2 to Farmer. Check swing on strike 3.
Our plate umpire has been consistent in the bottom part of the zone down there, so that one was kind of borderline in the bottom of the zone. That's one thing you ask. You're like, listen, if you're going to call it, as long as you're consistent, so you know as a hitter, you got to go back, you got to make adjustments. You talk about it in the zone, like he's going to call that low one, so be ready for it.
Kershaw to bat for himself here. And in the spring training game, this doesn't necessarily mean that Clayton Kershaw is going to continue pitching. It just means Kershaw wants to get a second at bat. Plan was 5 innings, 75 pitches, and he's thrown the 5. And there is action down in that bullpen. Looks like Adam Liberatore in the shadows. Kershaw floats one down the left field line, foul. Back of a day for him on the mound with 8 strikeouts. Gave up 5 hits. Only 2 of them were hard hit, though. Hosmer had a hard hit single, and Tyson Ross, the opposing pitcher, hit one hard to the gap. Other than that, a couple of infield singles and a bloop shot. I think he's ready. Let's fast forward to next Thursday.
You know, and when he gets interviewed afterwards, you know, he's never satisfied. He's going to say, it's all right. And we're looking at him going, yeah, you look ready.
Yeah. And he'll find something. Kershaw rifles one to right center field and puts the Dodgers on the board with an extra base hit. He's got 8 strikeouts on the mound. He's got the game's lone RBI with a double in the 5th. Are you ready now?
That's what I said. I told you you're ready. Does a good job staying on that breaking ball, waiting back on it. Head down, driving it to right center. You know, I'll tell you what, maybe he is going to go out there for another inning. The only reason I say that is if it was just to get in that bat, they would pinch run for him. So maybe, I know you said 75 pitches, 5 innings. I wonder if he's just going to say, listen, let me get the full 75 in. I'll go out there. That's the only reason. I mean, I could be wrong, but most likely you usually would get a pinch runner for him right here.
Keeps the inning alive for Chris Taylor, who looks at a generous outside corner, strike 1. We said it to start the day when he threw the first pitch 2 minutes early. Say it again. It's Clayton Kershaw's world, and we're all just living in it. Ball and a strike on Taylor, who's continued to wear it from his teammates and friends and front office about his Virginia Cavaliers bowing out early. In a lunchroom today, Farhan Zaidi, the general manager, saw Taylor on his phone, and Farhan said, are you on there looking for a new basketball team?
Ouch. Yes.
Outside corner continues to expand. 1-2. Hernandez started the inning with a single, stole second, scored on Kershaw's 2-out double. And now Taylor's got a walk and a strikeout today. Waits on a 1-2 from Craig Stammen. Kershaw walking to a good lead, and Taylor fouling it off. Two. I'm sure Taylor's hearing it from his family too, because he's the only UVA guy in his family. It's a family full of Virginia Tech Hokies. Not that they have a lot of room to talk, but
they can, because they got, I mean, with that upset.
Yeah. I think Virginia Tech gave Virginia one of its 3 losses total on the year. Chris's dad is in the Virginia Tech Sports Hall of Fame as a wrestler. His sister, Noelle, she's currently a cheerleader there. And Chris grew up a diehard Virginia Tech football fan, but they didn't recruit him in baseball. So he went to Virginia. Great career there. To the College World Series. In fact, Chris had the walk-off hit in Super Regionals to send his team to Omaha. Another 2-2. He protects that outside corner, sends a liner to right that Renfroe pulls in. And that does it for the Dodgers in the 5th. He's doing it all today. 5 scoreless innings on the mound and an RBI. More scoreless innings to run his total this spring to 14 2/3 without a run, and 8 strikeouts today against San Diego.
And he looked sharp. He looked like he had command of his fastball. He had some good late break to his slider and to his curveball. He was working both sides of the plate. Speaking of both sides of the plate, he also helped himself out with a nice RBI double. That's a good day.
And he'll head to the showers after those 5 innings and 8 strikeouts. We head to the 6th, and Adam Liberatore is making a nice case for himself this spring. Comes on to pitch. Not out of the question that the Dodgers could carry 3 left-handed relievers, especially if they decide to go with 8 total. It's Ingrani and Alexander, and then Liberatore in that picture as well. Strike 1 on Will Myers. 3, 4, and 5 for Liberatore, so getting the teeth of this San Diego lineup. Myers is 1 for 2, had an infield single against Kershaw and took strike 3 called. Facing Adam Liberatore, opening the 6th.
Doesn't matter if you wear a shin guard. It finds a way to miss it every time.
Not too many ways to protect where he just hit it.
No. So Yasmani Grandal, who usually wears a shin guard, is wearing one this spring and then takes it right in the shin.
Promptly total on afterwards. Maybe I'll have to put it back on. Adam Liberatore, 30 years old. He was limited to just 4 games last year. Started the season in AAA. Caught up in late April. But soon after that was on the DL. And spent pretty much the rest of the year there. First it was a groin strain, but then came back for a couple of games. Down with an elbow strain. And tried to make a comeback. Pitched in a few rehab games in August and September, but ultimately shut it down for the season to get healthy and start looking ahead to this year. Here he comes with another 2-2. And he gets Myers swinging.
Good off-speed pitch here by Liberatore. It's a good changeup. Looks like a fastball. Same trajectory, looked like a strike. And there's Kershaw getting the work in over there.
70 pitches, 5 innings in the real game, and he'll go try and refine a couple of things down there in the bullpen. One out for Jose Pereira. Strike one. A pop-up. Sun behind the clouds at this point. Cody Bellinger's got it. 2 up and 2 down. Got the air show going on at nearby Luke Air Force Base this weekend. Did you catch any of that on your drive home yesterday?
I did catch it a little bit on my drive. It was
it's cool.
Just amazing how close they fly next to each other, how precise they are.
They better be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point, but still amazing.
It sure is. Here's Renfroe with 2 out. That's a missile down the left field line.
Nice catch.
Nice play. He's got Dodger blue on. The inning's over. Well done.
Stayed with it. Right in the ball. Nice. Robbed it from another Justin Turner fan over there.
Renfroe's 0 for 2. Pop out and a strikeout. Both against Kershaw. One day after he hit his 4th home run of the spring. Looking a late push to re-solidify his spot on the roster. Probably not going to be as a starting outfielder. And that's the trickle down from Eric Hosmer's acquisition, because they're putting Hosmer obviously at first, and that moves Will Myers back to his natural outfield spot. Renfroe appears to be the odd man out. Liberatore pushes off with a 2-2 that backs Renfroe off of the plate and works the count full. Adam hoping to make his first opening day roster. 5 straight seasons he started the year at AAA. In the spring training, when Dave Roberts told him that he hadn't made the major league team, was visibly upset. The story's been told many times, but he told Dave Roberts he thought he was the best left-handed reliever in baseball, and Dave said, well, go prove it. And when he was healthy 2 years ago, for a time, he did. Allowed 1 run in his first 42 appearances. Renfroe hits one hard to deep center field. Thompson turns and watches it go to tie the game at 1. On a 3-2 pitch, Hunter Renfroe's 5th home run of the spring evens the issue.
Renfroe, it's no doubt about the power, that's for sure. I mean, here's the ball. This was out of the zone. It was ball 4, up in the zone, and he crushes it to center field. It's always been a question of, is he able to cut down on those strikeouts? Because when he barrels it up, it goes a long way.
2 outs for Chase Headley. Strike 1. Yeah, the Dodgers saw him back in San Diego during his debut week. Homer on top of the Western Metal Supply Company building down the left field line. 1-2. Full count on Chase Headley. "33 years old now, 11th major league season for him. 7.5 with the Padres the first time around, and then the Yankees. He walks with 2 out. It's something that he's done a lot of. High on base percentage, up around 500 this spring, and they're hoping that he can kind of rub off on this young lineup, which a year ago averaged less than 4 runs per game. They were dead last in the majors offensively. In fact, one of just 2 teams that averaged fewer than 4 runs per game. Other were the Giants. 2 outs for Freddie Galvis. They just confiscated a beach ball. That was the booing you heard.
That's not encouraged at spring training games.
Seems like it shouldn't be a huge deal.
You're so close to the beach.
Well, got the protective netting all the way down to the end of the dugouts at this point. The beach ball's not going out of the field.
Is that what their concern is, or just also just beach ball safety for the fans too?
Those things hurt. I'm with you. Nice pitch, 0-2.
I do like the protective netting though.
Yeah.
It doesn't take away from the game at all. You can't notice anything, but keeps the fans safe, that's for sure.
Freddie Galvis with 2 outs in a 1-1 game in the 6th after Hunter Renfroe's 2-out home run tied it. Liberatore to the plate with another 0-2. Galvis taps it softly to third. Hernandez with a running throw, and that does it. To the bottom of the 6th we go, with the Dodgers and Padres locked at 1. brought to you by Acura. Precision crafted performance. Tied at 1 to the bottom of the 6th. Before we get going with this, any moments ago, Alana Rizzo with Clayton Kershaw.
Clayton, another 5 innings of work for you. No earned runs, 5 hits, only 2 of which were hit hard. So how did that fastball command feel? And then we'll go into your breaking stuff.
Yeah, it was good today. Definitely an improvement. Just keep trying to get better. You know, there was, threw some fastballs, first pitch strikes, got ahead of guys, which is good. And, facing this team, getting to see some regulars in there, and hopefully they didn't get too much information, but, overall it was a good day.
I know that is sometimes a consideration. Perhaps you want to pitch on the backfield to get the work in, but you're not facing their A lineup. When you can have success against a group of guys that you know you're going to see often, does that take even more out of the outing?
Well, I think more than anything for me, it's just hard to get up for a B game. You know, I think for me to have at least some type of adrenaline for a big league game is important. So, you can get working on a B game, no doubt, but for me, trying to harness adrenaline and work with the, anxious energy and things like that is almost more important than the stuff.
And the curveball, of course, we know how dominant you can be with that. It seemed like your breaking pitches were working well for you today. Did you feel like you had good command of those?
The slider was okay. The curveball, had the right break at least, just not for strikes. I was bouncing a lot of them, so, I had the right arm speed, and the break was good, but just need to throw it for strikes a bit more.
There's only 2 times I noticed you were audibly upset with perhaps a pitch that you threw. How soon does a ball come out of your hand when you know that you're not going to locate it where you want?
I don't know. I mean, there's not much time in between that, so it's...
It seems like you know right away.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Honestly. But, when you don't throw the ball the way you want to, it's a little frustrating at times.
Stay in there for your second at-bat and proceed to get an RBI double. Obviously, that's a part of your game that I know you take pride in as well. Nice to be able to at least get you guys on the board there.
Yeah, slider bat speed. Threw me a slider. So, the mid-80s is about as fast as I can hit. So, hopefully, I get a few more breaking balls this season.
Anticipate a shorter outing next time out before you get ready for the one that counts?
We'll talk about it. I'm not sure yet.
Thanks, Clayton.
All right, thanks.
All right, guys.
All right, Alana, and thanks Clayton for spending the time. Andy Green going back into the bullpen. We'll let you know who's coming in a 1-1 game after this. Stock, who's in his first season in the Padres system, comes on to handle this 6th inning for San Diego in a 1-1 game. Dodgers getting their run, a Clayton Kershaw RBI double in the 5th. Padres even in the issue on a Hunter Renfroe home run against Adam Liberatore in the 6th. With 1 out, it's Cody Bellinger taking a strike. Robert Stock, originally from Bellevue, Washington. Played his college ball at USC. From Agora Hills, at least where he grew up after he was born in the Pacific Northwest. Bellinger goes the other way with a base hit. That's something when Bellinger was struggling during the World Series. When he put a focus on that one day during batting practice, he had some of his success that he was able to experience during that stretch.
And he said that. He said that in that next game. He said, "What, were you thinking about going the other way?" He said, "Yes, I did. I made a conscious effort." It was surprising when he said, "First time in batting practice, I actually went the other way and tried doing that in batting practice," and carried it into the game. And then it was noticeable that it stopped after that, and he didn't go back to it, especially when he had success. And that was the kind of swing that we were talking about right there. Sometimes it's just staying on the ball, not pulling off of it, keeping the bat through the zone, going the other way, getting your hits, right, and then stay with that consistently and not just go away from it, figuring out, well, now that I just got my couple hits, I can start opening up, letting it fly, and that swing's going to be for me that I can hit that inner half. No, sometimes you just have to stay with that for a while and work your way back into the inner half.
Ball and a strike on Puig. In a 1-1 game in the 6th. That pitch is left up, and he's going to get away with it. Puig upset with himself. On a pop fly to short center that Margot comes on and botches. But will take it to the bag at second to get Bellinger, who's caught between a rock and a hard place there.
You've seen that call. How do you write that? 8U.
Yeah, 8 unassisted.
8 unassisted.
Fielder's choice.
Fielder's choice. 8U.
Yeah.
And then, Yasiel was upset with himself because he knew that was a pitch that he should have been able to barrel up cleanly. And if he did, it would have gone a long way out of the ballpark. But instead, it's a 8 unassisted at second base.
Routine. 2 out for Forsythe. You're talking about Bellinger's adjustments for a short time during that World Series. I've heard you talk about how one little tweak, one little change in swing thought can open up so many different things for you, can affect so many different things at the plate. It's not just that you're going to take the ball the other way, but there's trickle down and collateral to that one thought.
Absolutely. For him, for example, we know what was giving him trouble. It was that slider down and in that he just kept swinging and swinging at and swinging over, where if you thought, okay, I'm going to go the other way, that's going to be my thought. Well, you actually have a tendency to let that pitch go, because if you're thinking I'm going to go the other way and stay inside it, you usually lay off that inside fastball. And even if that breaking ball or that slider looks like an inside fastball, you lay off it like I can't hit it because I'm going the other way. So that would have been a ball, and he would have been swinging over it.
1-2. Full count on Logan Forsythe. Oh for 2 today. Puig will get a head start from first with his 3-2, and Forsythe swings through it for strike 3. On to the late innings we go on a gorgeous Sunday afternoon, tied at 1.
addition to the Dodgers promotional schedule. Be one of the first 40,000 ticketed fans in attendance on Friday, March 30th versus the Giants and receive a special edition Kirk Gibson bobblehead presented by Bank of America. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Yimi Garcia coming back from Tommy John surgery and making a push to make the roster. Somebody who was so reliable before those injury issues. And has shown some good stuff this spring. Moments ago, Alana Rizzo visited with Chris Taylor.
Chris, as you guys get ready to finally head back to Los Angeles and get ready for the regular season, you have an opportunity for some more at-bats and some more time in the field. What do you want to get out of the final few days that we have here?
Just keep playing good baseball. You know, I've felt pretty good the last couple weeks. You know, continue to prepare and get ready. You know, make sure we don't get content or relax these last couple weeks and continue to go hard and yeah, just play good baseball.
It's so difficult to emulate a real game that actually matters, but do you feel like you guys collectively are kind of where you're at as where you want to be as a team already?
Yeah, I think for the most part we're feeling pretty good. You know, we got a lot of depth on this team and a lot of guys are playing really well. I'm sure it's going to be a tough decision for Doc to come up with 25 guys, but you know, we feel really good with where we are.
You mentioned the 25 guys, and when you arrived here at camp, you said this is the first time you've entered camp really having that secure position, and what a difference that can make for you. How have you approached spring training as you've gone throughout it, knowing that you're definitely on this team when you guys break camp?
Yeah, really just be patient and not be too worried about results. You know, I feel like I've had some good at-bats. I've hit the ball hard and haven't always come up with hits, but you know, at the same time, I realize batting average in spring training doesn't really mean anything. So trying to have good at-bats and just make the most of these games.
I know that spring training results don't make any difference. You draw the walk, and then you have a hard liner to right field. Can you appreciate the fact that you're hitting the ball well and you'll save the hits for the regular season? Yeah,
that's really all you can do. You know, you can't sometimes they're just not going to fall. And all you can worry about is finding the barrel, and you know, hopefully they'll start to fall in the regular season.
Appreciate your time as always, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
All right, Alana, thanks to Chris Taylor for spending a few minutes on his way back to the clubhouse. Garcia gets a strikeout of Austin Hedges to start his outing, and now a big-time hesitation in the delivery to Carlos Aswai. I swear to God, I looked at my monitor and thought, wait, did my monitor just freeze? That was a long pause from Yimi. Real speed.
That's when you know he has balance.
Yeah, it's one way to show it. Here comes his 0-1. Aswahe bloops it over second, a base hit.
Just thinking about Aswahe with that hit. I mean, in Padres camp, they're talking about it possibly being a really good battle for second base between Spangenberg and Aswahe. And Aswahe might have the edge because he just hits. He's been hitting all spring. Add in another one right there.
Getting Manny Margot to the plate. Looking at a strike and a slider from Garcia. Aswahe, Margot, Spangenberg, that's all kind of part of that first wave of younger guys that have come up to the Padres. Margot is the gem of that group, though, the one that they're most excited about long term. Takes low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Had a good rookie season last year. Still only 23 years old. The guy that originally signed with the Boston Red Sox out of the Dominican Republic and then came over in the Craig Kimbrell deal. Big bouncer that'll get through. Base hit for Margot.
See that hit? That's when you know in front of home plate is hard. When you see that big bounce.
Yeah. The term Baltimore chop came from when they had a bunch of speedsters in Baltimore, and they used to harden the dirt in front of the plate and purposely hit the ball directly down to get these huge bounces, and they beat out all these infield singles. 2 on with 1 out. Here's Hosmer looking at a strike.
And then on the flip side, when you have a sinker baller as your starting pitcher and he's pitching at home, they could soften the dirt a little bit at home so you don't get those big bounces.
Groundskeepers can play a role behind the scenes. Of course, famously in Dodger Giant lore at Candlestick Park, watering down the area, softening the air with sand around first base to slow down Maury Wills and the speedy Dodgers in the early 1960s. Two balls and a strike on Hosmer. Three and one. You know, they watered down those base paths to try and slow Maury Wills. That was in response to how they felt the surface was at Dodger Stadium. Alvin Dark, the manager of the Giants at the time, thought, my gosh, this surface is hard. Like, this is really tilted in their advantage to try and make it a speedy surface at Dodger Stadium. And so the next time the Dodgers went north, that's what they found. Maury's Lake around first base. Two on with 1 out. A pause in the delivery and a pitch low that loads the bases. So Garcia run into a bit of trouble here in the 7th. And Will Myers will bat with an opportunity to break this 1-1 tie. Suaje's at third. Goes at second. Hosmer's at first. And Myers, who is 1 for 3, climbs in. Strike one. The Dodgers noticed right away at Candlestick Park that it was soft. I mean, it doesn't take you long to realize that something's a little out of whack.
Why is it a different color right there?
So they immediately told the umpire, who stopped the game and called the groundskeeper out. His name was Matty Schwab, and said, you got to fix this. He's behind it. 0-2 as Garcia looks for a big strikeout. Well, Schwab's lead assistant was his son, and Schwab told him to put so much water around first base that you could see it. So that was the first step to hardening it. They're going to put some more water and then tamp it down. Well, Schwab, the dad, then comes back out with his wheelbarrow full of what is supposed to be dirt to help harden it. Strike 3 call. Garcia sits down Myers. A big K with the bases loaded and 2 away. Only the wheelbarrow's full of his dirt concoction that he used in the first place, with a bunch of peat moss and sand, and well, they fixed it, right? But it remained soft, and they played on. And the Giants that weekend in San Francisco won 3 of the 4 games as they took away the Dodgers' biggest strength. It's up to Spangenberg.
Whoever played first base over there for San Francisco is like, well, thanks a lot, because
yeah, right.
I don't know what kind of hop I'm going to get over here.
Spangenberg with a hot shot at second base. Moises Perez, fresh into the game, picks it off and throws him out. Garcia able to wiggle out of a jam and keep it tied as we stretch. been a fun day here in Glendale. Tied at 1 to the bottom of the 7th. Austin Barnes' day is finished, and so he stopped by with a line.
Austin, it's always nice when you get to catch Clayton Kershaw. He seems that he's ready to go for the season. He said he had that fastball command and liked the way that he was throwing his slider today. What did you notice?
Yeah, he executed a lot. You know, he had that slider going pretty good. He know that was a little issue for him early in the camp, but I think he really put that past him. He's throwing some really good pitches.
I asked him this. I said, how soon do you know when the ball's coming out of your hand that it's not going to locate where you want it to? Because he always has those grunts on the mound. He didn't have a great answer. Do you know when he knows?
I think he knows if it's a ball out of hand, and he's such a perfectionist that I think he shows it sometimes, you know, and he shows his motion, but that's what makes him so great.
How has it been for you being able to get into the rhythm now, obviously behind the plate for several games, throwing the bases and the whole deal?
Yeah, it's good. It's there's nothing like game action, so it's definitely a benefit to be out there with the guys and see what the pitchers are doing in game.
You guys have about a week and a half left, week and change left before it actually matters. What's next as far as checking off the box for you?
Yeah, just keep going with the pitchers, getting comfortable behind the plate and in the box.
You are a man of few words, Austin Barnes. Best of luck this season.
Thank you, Juan.
Well, isn't it funny, though, Nomar, kind of back to our conversation earlier about feel and guys not wanting to discuss the finer things as far as mechanics go. Kershaw didn't really want to talk about that question about how soon he can feel that it's not a good pitch, and Barnes said right away, I'm sure he can feel it right out of the hand. But it goes back to what you were talking about. You don't want to get into that part of the brain.
You don't want to be thinking about that question so much. Okay, when do I? Because then you're going, okay, when do I actually know? And then, you know, you just don't. You start playing. You play head games with yourself just by some of those questions. But
Kirby Yates pitching right now. Hernandez chasing 2-2. Came over from the Angels, and a pretty good year for San Diego. Hernandez 1 for 2, scored the lone Dodger run on Kershaw's double. That was in the 5th. On a 2-2, it's ball 3. Two islanders, so to speak, here. Kike from Puerto Rico. Kirby Yates is from Hawaii, the Garden Island, Kauai. One of 2 Yates brothers that has reached the major leagues. His older brother Tyler bounced around for a few seasons. Yates with another 3-2, and Hernandez pops up an elevated fastball. Hedges near the screen, just out of range. Kirby's beaten the odds. He had Tommy John while he was in college, undrafted. And like his brother, bounced around, but for Kirby, it was bouncing around a lot in the minors. The Rays, the Angels. And has landed solid footing here with San Diego. Had some time with the Yankees, too. Comes another payoff. Hernandez chases. He won't be happy with that at bat. 1 away in the 7th. Andrew Tolles pinch hitting. One ball, one strike. Well, what a different place Andrew Tolles is in right now than 2 years ago here in Glendale. He had been out of baseball for a full year. Dodgers took a flyer on him. Obviously a minor league deal at that point. He hadn't sniffed the majors. Hard hit on the ground is second. Spangenberg will throw him out. But in that first spring training with the Dodgers, he said he thought he'd probably get cut. It was a huge relief on the final day of spring when he looked up on the board and saw that he was headed to A-ball. By the end of that summer, really by midway through the summer, he had made it to the majors for the first time and established himself as a major league player. Opening day leadoff hitter last year before his injury.
I'm happy I'm going to A-ball.
Yeah.
That's to get to the big leagues that year.
Kyle Farmer, ball one.
Right.
Yep. Probably moments like that guys can look back on when things are tough and going through a major league slump. Think back to a moment like that when you were just happy to be on any team. Farmer rifles one towards the left field corner. Bangs off of the wall. Boy, his barrel has been busy this spring. Another extra base hit for Kyle Farmer.
Squaring it up. And that one did not, just missed from going out of here. Look how high up you're talking about. Maybe a foot to 2 feet higher, and that's out of here. It was hit on the line.
A pitch run for him. Boy, sure does have a good sound coming off Farmer's bat right now. Rocky Gale. Pops the first pitch up that he sees. Hosmer near the screen, runs out of room.
Yeah, it's funny when you say the sound. You know, there are certain stadiums where you're going and you're hitting in the batting cages there, and some of them, you know, they're enclosed, they're underneath, and have a tendency to be louder than others. You know, echo. I remember one time the coach going, "Hey, how's it?" asking me about how we're swinging. He goes, "How's it going over there down there?" I said, "Can you just hear it?" Like it was really loud, like guys were swinging the bat well. You don't need to see anything, just listen for the sound and you can tell.
Where were the loudest cages?
Colorado can be loud. There's one. It's an interesting setup the way they have it. They actually have the cage. It almost seems like it's connected to the actual clubhouse, so it's not off to the side of when you're going down to the dugout. That one's loud. And the thing where there's let me ball. I'm old now, so there's no ball. No. It could get loud when Chicago used to have the batting cages out in center field.
Yeah, under the bleachers.
Under the bleachers.
Gale down on strikes, and the Dodgers unable to take advantage of Farmer's 2-out double. tickets to Dodger opening day with a 2018 Dodger mini plan and enjoy this season filled with rivalry matchups, great promotional games featuring all kinds of fan favorites. Go to Dodgers.com/mini-plans to learn more. Jordan Jankowski on to handle the 8th for the Dodgers in a 1-1 game. Joe, Nomar, and Alana on a actually somewhat cool day in Arizona. At least, I mean, we're out of the sun here in the booth, obviously, but there's a bit of a breeze, too.
People are going, brr. Really cool in Arizona? Yeah, a little bit.
Renfroe to lead this inning off against Jankowski. His home run tied the game at 1 in the 6th.
That home run in the 6th. I mean, you saw the catcher having to reach for that ball out of the zone, and he's still able to square that ball up and drive it to center field.
He's from a small town in Mississippi and played on one of the best youth ball teams in the Southeast growing up. Went on to play at Mississippi State. Was a star there, and then a first-round pick. During his youth ball days, instead of spending all the money on hotels each weekend, wherever the tournament would be, his dad invested in a camper. He bought a 2003 Cherokee fifth wheel, and the two of them spent Hunter's younger years traveling around the Southeast during the summer and sleeping in the camper. His dad still has it. Down swinging here. How close did they get? Well, his dad was his best man at his wedding.
Oh, that's awesome. Traveling around, going. Teams going, hey, we're going to go back to the hotel swimming. Where are you going? I'm going to the camper.
Ball one on Chase Headley. Single and a walk today. On base percentage around 500 this spring. Jankowski got in on him. A ball and a strike. And of course, play 19 times this season, the Dodgers and the Padres. First games together will come in mid-April. I don't know if you've given it a real close look, but did you see the Dodgers don't see the Rockies, a division opponent, don't see them until late May? Almost 2 months.
Which is strange.
Yeah. A 2-1. Headley watches it fall in there for a strike. 2-2. By the time the Dodgers see the Rockies, a division opponent, for the first time, they'll have played the Nationals twice. They'll be done with the Washington Nationals before they see the Rockies one time. It's just a random example of how odd that is, how late that is to see a division team for the first time. These two teams are going to play a series in Mexico at the end of April. Or beginning of May, I guess. A pop-up and a long way to go for Errol Robinson, who runs it down in foul territory. 2 out. Number 13, Freddie Alves. And now Freddie Galvis, who's 0 for 3. Got his number with the Padres, number 13. It's what he wore all those years in Philadelphia. In honor of his idol, as so many guys that grew up in Venezuela would say, Omar Vizquel. But it's also a bit of a nod to his roots. He grew up on 13th Street. Breaking ball, strike one. That's how they split the teams up when he was growing up, too. So he was on the 13th Street team.
That's pretty cool when you go, oh, why do you wear that number? Favorite player? Nope. Street I grew up on.
Kenley Jansen has a similar thing. 74 was the house number of his childhood home in Curacao. A 2-1 to Freddie Galvis. In there for strike two. And a chance here for Jankowski to work a 1-2, 3-8 and a tie game. Dug out, driven to deep center field. Way back there, Freddie Galvis has put the Padres in front. A 2-1 San Diego lead and a pair of solo home runs today. One from Renfroe, and now Freddie Galvis goes deep.
Running that ball down and away, and actually the ball was headed there. It just got a little bit too much of the plate, but you saw the way the catcher was set up, wanted it there. Galvis just did a better job staying on it.
So 2-1, Padres leading for the first time, and Austin Hedges takes a ball. Galvis, the perfect kind of piece for San Diego to bring in. It's in the final year of his contract. At the stage of that rebuild where the kids are not quite ready, probably a year off, and plugging into a position where they've needed a steady hand. He's a guy that played every single game last year. Hedges swings and misses, 1-2. Foul tipped into the mitt for strike three. But the Padres break the tie and a two-out home run from Freddie Galvis. today. Clayton Kershaw, 5 more shutout innings on the mound. He struck out 8. Was in command all afternoon, and he drove in the only Dodger run of the day with a double in the 5th.
Running the bases, squaring the ball up, throwing strikes. That's a complete day. And he went in the bullpen and continued throwing.
For good measure.
Yeah.
Right. Jordan Lyles to handle the bottom of the 8th for San Diego. One more outing for Kershaw at this point, scheduled as a tune-up for opening day, which will be his 8th opening day start in a row, setting a new Dodger record, passing Don Sutton for that honor. Don Drysdale had started 7 opening days as well, but they weren't in succession, as Sutton had done and as Kershaw has done. Trace Thompson leading off this 8th in a 2-1 game. You're 1 for 1 on trivia today. Clayton Kershaw and pitcher-related trivia.
Yeah, so don't ask me another one. Let's stay right there.
I'm going to put you on the spot. 2 and 2.
Great.
Double or nothing, no money.
Nope, I'm out.
Last Dodger pitcher other than Clayton Kershaw to start an opening day game.
Oh, man.
Thompson hits a high fly ball, but foul.
That was probably, I might have been in that game.
2010.
No. Yep. So, it wasn't, let's see. Padilla?
Oh my gosh, you're 2 for 2. What a day. And I promise you folks at home, I'm not feeding him these answers.
I didn't look it up either.
I'd prefer to stump him. You can't look it up. Our internet doesn't
I can't,
work.
right.
Yeah, Vicente Padilla, 2010. Last non-Clayton Kershaw to start opening day for the Dodgers. Thompson can't lay off. Sharp breaking pitch from Lyles, and he's the first out of the 8th. Mike Ahmed will bat here. Seen some time in Cactus League games for the Dodgers. He's the younger brother of the Diamondback shortstop Nick Ahmed. Big breaking ball for a strike. They once played against each other in college. Mike went to Holy Cross. Nick went to UConn. And you can imagine that their parents were sitting there thinking, gosh, like, who do we cheer for? What outcome do we want here? How about a 16-inning tie when Nick Ahmed faced Mike Ahmed? Called it because of darkness, and the brothers didn't get bragging rights. Look out, 2-1.
16-inning tie. That's when you go home and you blame each other. Couldn't you do something to end that game? 60, gosh.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
So I only got to play in the same game with my brother one time. There's an age gap between my brother's 10 years younger than I am. So it was a professional game and spring training. And we were in Vegas. It was in Vegas. So, you know, you're going Vegas, all right, because you don't play many games over there in spring training. So you had an opportunity before you head out and start the season. So they're in Vegas, everybody, and it goes into extra innings. And you're going, great, we're in Vegas. There's time to enjoy Vegas. And the game goes into extra innings. And my brother wins it with a walk-off hit against our team. And our team is going, tell your brother, great job. So we can go with that.
Yeah, first hand on us tonight. 3-2 on Ahmed. And The ground to third, and Headley throws out a hustling Ahmed for the second out. Is that the same younger brother that became a legend in his use of your house here in Phoenix?
That's the same brother, yes. That is the same brother.
You've told a funny story where you play into the majors and you get to second, somebody says something to you like, hey.
Yeah, gets into the big leagues and guy slides into second. I remember a rookie kind of going in there and I'm like, hey, Rook, hey, nice hit, welcome to the big leagues. And he looks at me and his response was, man, your brother threw some great parties at your house.
Strike one on Errol Robinson.
Brother was so disappointed when I got rid of that house.
Sounds like much of the lead was.
There was a lot more than just him.
Lyles works a 1-2-3-8. On to the ninth we go. Padres in front 2-1. Great day to be out here at the ballpark. Padres in front of the Dodgers 2-1, and one last time we welcome you inside. One last time we welcome you inside here at Camelback Ranch, because the next time we see you is going to be for, I guess it won't be the regular season yet, but back at Dodger Stadium for the Freeway Series, not too far off.
No, pretty exciting. I mean, listen, we've got a beautiful day here, and I guarantee you it's going to be a beautiful day opening day.
It's always a safe bet.
Right?
Strike one on Travis Jankowski. Jankowski against Jankowski. If you're into Jankowskis, you've come to the right place.
No relation.
Nope. Who knows?
That we know of.
Yeah,
that we know
they
of.
might not even know. Jankowski strikes him out for the first out of the ninth. At this point for you, back to your playing days, about 10 days off. What's left?
Well, if you had a full spring training up to this point, so where you've been since day one and been fine and healthy, you're going, let's just get going. And hopefully if you feel like you're swinging the bat well, this is where, I guess you want to call it maybe a dog days of spring training, those last 10 days. You're like, gosh, okay, we can do without this last week. But obviously a little different if you don't have that full spring. But it's really about now building up your stamina to play maybe, those 9-inning games. So that's the other thing too. So you start maybe going at least 7 innings. getting more at bats, getting the legs underneath you, and then you're just hoping you're squaring the ball up. And I always say line drive outs are a good thing in spring training, especially late right here, knowing that they're going to save fall during the season for you, but you're having good at bats.
Robinson throws out a hustling Margot. And to your point, guys starting to get full games of action. These are the regulars. These are the starters for the Padres, up there for the 5th time today. Hosmer 1 for 3 with a walk. Slashes the first pitch that he sees, foul. Had a career year last year, Eric Hosmer did, during this contract that he signed. Well, the Padres hope that he is the cornerstone of this rebuilding project. An 8-year deal, so I mean, who knows what the league's going to look like 8 years from now when he gets to the back end of that deal. He'll be 36 at that point. And all those young guys the Padres are hoping blossom will be in their late 20s. Takes off on Jankowski. It's 1-1. Trying to follow the blueprint that so many teams have done successfully lately. I mean, Hosmer was part of one in Kansas City, a rebuild. They won a world championship like that. The Cubs did it. The Astros did it. Scoreless through 4 innings today, through 4.5 when Clayton Kershaw collected an RBI double. That was in the bottom of the 5th, made it 1-0 Dodgers. That's all they've been able to manage, though. Padres have gotten home runs from Renfroe and Galvis. Jankowski pitches 2-2, and Hosmer bangs a base hit the other way. Second one of the day to the same spot. One off Kershaw, one off Jankowski, and the inning kept alive for Will Myers. Myers is another guy who signed long-term. Second year of a franchise record deal at the time. Signed a 6-year, $83 million deal. And so he signed through his mid-30s like Hosmer is. Hosmer takes off. It's thrown down, and they got him. Rocky Gale with a nice play to finish off the inning. Last chance for the Dodgers coming up. Down a run. days from opening day. Jackie Robinson Day, always a special one around the Dodgers. April 15th. That'll be against Arizona. A bunch of bobblehead giveaways. Cody Bellinger's one of them. The Astros come to town for a rematch in August. All that and plenty more over the course of the 81 games at Dodger Stadium 2018. Joe, Nomar, and Alana back at Camelback Ranch. Last hacks for the Dodgers, down 2-1. This is Moises Perez to lead it off against Phil Maton. Perez goes after the first pitch and flies it to center for the first out. This is a split squad day. Other part of the roster went to play the Brewers. Edwin Rios, who homered over the batter's eye here at Camelback Ranch for the Dodgers a couple days ago, apparently did it again over the batter's eye in Maryville. Connor Joe.
I always say when you're young, you want to leave an impression for them to. The big guys are looking at you. That's going to leave an impression.
Yeah, and he did it twice. Just in case he didn't get the impression the first time. Another to 2 on Joe. This is Thursday against Kansas City. Still have not seen the ball land. And Edwin Rios did it again in a different ballpark this afternoon. Legend has it. A week from Thursday, Clayton Kershaw, Madison Bumgarner. Opening day from Dodger Stadium. That'll be exclusively on ESPN, by the way. Joe tomahawks one into left center. Galvis backing out there, and he's called off by Will Myers. Still have pregame and postgame on Sportsnet LA. Oral and Alana and myself will be with you for the game broadcast for the first time, day 2 of this season. This is Jaron Kendall, who is the Dodgers' first-round pick a year ago out of Vanderbilt. It's a great program there in Nashville. Vanderbilt Commodores. Of course, Walker Buehler, the year before that, was the Dodgers' first-round pick. Also from Vandy. Produced guys like David Price, Sonny Gray. Nothing in 2 on Kendall. Maton trying to work a quiet 9th inning with a 2-1 lead. His 0-2 is on the corner to finish off Kendall and the Dodgers on this Sunday afternoon. That outside corner was there all day. I don't blame Kendall for not knowing that and just getting up there for his first AB. Gibson was consistent.
Or he's got dinner reservations, one of the two. We always used to say that later. It's joking around with the umpire.
2-1. Padres take this one. You can join us tomorrow on Sportsnet LA. Dodgers face the A's at 7. The Rick Monday, Kevin Kennedy on the call to that one. For Nomar, Alana, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Camelback Ranch. Can't wait to talk to you with the regular season coming up just around the corner.